Hello, dear aviation fans. Today we will continue our Airbus marathon and finally start with airplanes. The hero of our today's story is Airbus A300. This plane is quite a usual model by modern standards. Medium-haul, wide-body twin-engine aircraft. Yes, there are many planes with this scheme in 2017, but the A300 is special. It can be called, not without vanity, the father of all those liners. Okay, let's fly. I have to say, in this story I excluded the topic of Airbus industry formation as much as I could. I've told about all of it in my first video. You can watch it now and come back after. Now we have to fly to the past, back to 1960s. The European and American airlines needed a new aircraft, which could accommodate about 250 passengers. This plane must be efficient, cheap and reliable. So, the usual needs. Give us a super plane for free. In 1967, governments of France, Germany and United Kingdom signed an agreement to start a joint development project. Moreover, the new A300 had to become a 300-seat aircraft with two engines. Indeed, a super plane, as was ordered. But after loud political words, engineers started to work and realized that creating such a plane would be very difficult and expensive. Smart guys proposed to create a smaller plane, accommodating 250 seats, A250. But then the haters got noisy, promised a cool A300 and then creating a boring 250? Airbus, come on, not cool, dislike, unsub. As a result, the 250-seat version was launched, but the name was saved, A300. Life became a bit less scary. The 250-seat version was 25 tons lighter, and it was not necessary to create a brand new engine for it. Calculations confirmed that the upgraded Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney and General Electric engines would be enough. Another bonus was the opportunity to make a wider fuselage and accommodate standard LD3 freight containers. It's not interesting for the passengers, but Airbus made a lot of money by selling the cargo versions of this plane. The first prototype assembly began in 1969 and lasted 3 years. There were constant problems with components and compatibility as well as with the engines. Oh, these engines. I said that the upgraded A300 could be equipped with already existing engines, and that fact saved the entire program. Initially, Rolls-Royce planned to develop a brand new engine, but the company got involved in an adventure and couldn't make it. Constant delays and problems nearly stopped the work, but the universality of the aircraft made it possible to change the British engines to American ones without big costs. Finally, in 1972, the plane made its maiden flight. The test program involved 4 aircrafts that in addition managed to participate in several demonstration tours in North and South America to show the locals how they're making airplanes in the old world. In 1974, A300 had been certified in Europe and in the US. Customers finally began to receive their first Airbuses. By the decade's end, 14 airlines operated nearly 100 planes. Airbus occupied 26% of the market and realized it was on its way to success. So, let's move on and check the features of this device. It has a lot of them. The A300 configuration is quite conventional for our time. Twin-engine, wide-body aircraft. 2 engines are mounted under the wing. Wait, aren't they gonna suck in all the garbage from the airstrip and die? No, they're not. The engineers designed the airframe and engines specifically so they won't be damaged by foreign objects. Well, if you're not taking off from the junkyard, of course. The A300 had a lot of innovations. It was the first twin-engine, wide-body aircraft. It was the first civilian airliner whose airframe actively used composites. And not from a good life, that is. When you only have 2 engines, every kilogram of plane's mass is critical. The composites have allowed to improve the aerodynamics and reduce the mass. In addition, it was one of the first commercial planes with such a large-scale introduction of automatics and computers on board. By the way, the cockpit crew could consist of just 2 people. You can say every plane is like that, but these are 1970s. Even the small planes were operated by a crew of 3 people or more. And then the computers automated many processes and poor flight engineer was thrown out on the street. Of course, the aircraft had several modifications. A300B1, basic and the shortest model. Perhaps that's why it didn't find any demand, just 2 planes were constructed. A300B2, already normal in length, at least for the fronts. This option was required by the Air France from the beginning of the project. The plane was equipped with Pratt & Whitney JT9D engines, the same as the power plants of the first jumbos, Boeing 747. The A300B4 could carry more fuel and had an improved wing. 248 planes of this model flew passengers around the world. A300-600 received an upgraded tail and became more spacious than its predecessors. A300B10, after a big story, became the new A310, which will be the topic of our next video. In general, A300 had one chronic problem. For a wide-body airplane, its range, 7,500 kilometers, was painfully small. The new version could fly on a range of 9,600 kilometers. Not a strategic bomber, but better already. A300-600 ST, better known as the Beluga. Not this Beluga. This plane looks very different from the others, but it is not an independent model. The plane has a similar task as the Boeing Dreamlifter. It's a transport for large elements of other Airbus planes. Airbus realized 561 A300s until the production stopped in 2007. But don't be sad, its legacy lives on. A300 had been replaced by A310, and now the skies above us are occupied by its heir, A330, which doesn't plan to leave anytime soon. Be sure to subscribe and watch other videos, and comment below what do you think about the first flying bus. Fast flights and soft landings to you.